Hey everyone, long time no see. Welcome back to Clickheads. I'm Eddie, and today we have some incredible changes to the current master of all agent selection screen memes, the not so stealthy boy, YORU. Now, ever since Riot announced that he was going to receive a rework last year in this article, fans have been excited by the prospect of YORU players, how shall I say this kindly, not insta-TPing straight into the enemy and dying most rounds while trying to mastermind an outplay. Now, in that previous article, they did announce some of the changes in principle, and this part 2 is really the added detail to those best laid plans. Riot are looking to launch this YORU rework during episode 4, act 2, so not that long really. They had a lot to say about the gameplay goals as well, and I think it's best if we structure this video in the same way as the article, so with all that said, let's jump straight in. Fakeout. Now, if we're being honest, in its current state, this ability is a bit too indirect to have the intended gameplay advantages, especially at the higher levels of play. Well, here's what the devs have to say about this ability rework. Fakeout, an ability that currently directionally mimics the sound of Yoru's footsteps to mislead enemies, is now a full copy of Yoru that runs forward and when damaged, explodes and debuffs enemies. As added flavor, when the copy is shot, it faces the direction of the person that fired the shot and flashes towards their position in a conal direction. A change like this requires the most in terms of new art, so we explored how to visualize these changes early on. So I don't know about you guys, but that sounds absolutely incredible. What a turnaround. The reason this is so impactful is because as a duelist, part of YORU's job is to create space. Yes, we all understand duelists are also self-sufficient fraggers, but especially at higher levels, they work with agents like Skye and Sova to take physical space, seek out duels, and displace defenders. Duelists are supposed to put enemies on the back foot, put them in worse positions, and make them easier to take out. The old Fakeout didn't really do that, because it was a bit too indirect. Negating its power took minimal effort from defenders, and its power to displace was pretty low. This new one, though, totally different story. Having a physical decoy that looks the same at first to an opponent is a huge deal. The debuff threat on explosion has some real potency when it comes to moving players around and out of optimal defensive position. Think of it like a different kind of boombot. So now, as the defender, there will be times where you have to deal with a YORU fakeout, and that is a huge change to his kit. Riot did detail in the article some of the work-in-progress visuals and shared some info about why, as a teammate of Yoru's, it's important that it's easy to distinguish the real YORU from the fake ones. I think that's pretty self-explanatory as to why that's a good idea, but I can't help but also think of another reason why this change is so good. At the moment, YORU is all smoke and mirrors. This new YORU will have some concrete practical utility to set up for shenanigans later on. One of those aspects with the new Fakeout is not just the threat of the utility itself, but also something that a lot of players don't really think about, and that's called trade bait. Trade bait is fairly straightforward. You put out a piece of roving utility like a Sova drone or a Skye dog, and a player or players follow that utility out and trade for it when an enemy tries to take it out. Now, not a lot of duelists have trade bait stuff in their kit, Rainer Flashes and Ray's Boombot being probably the best examples, so YORU getting this makes him kind of a potent initiator duelist hybrid. If I was a YORU player, I'd be really excited right now. Let's move on and explore what the devs had to say about Gatecrash. Not much has changed with this one since the last post, aside from the team creating additional art elements needed to bring this portion of YORU's update to life. The big thing here is the puddle left on the ground after a fake teleport. While the goal of the fake teleport is to create confusion about YORU's location, you should be able to go where the fake teleport occurred and then understand whether the real YORU is around or was it a misdirection. So those changes in combination make it so that it's both a better tool for selling a fake TP, and from an enemy's perspective, easier to figure out if it indeed was a fake. Gatecrash is still somewhat indirect following all this, but I don't think that that's a bad thing. Valorant does a really good job in establishing understandable interactions with its utility, and to me, Gatecrash 2.0 will be in a good place post-rework. One thing it'll still be useful for in genuine TP scenarios is as a fast rotate tool, something experienced YORU players at the higher end often make use of. Next up is YORU's ultimate dimensional rift. As the article says, prepare yourself. YORU is no longer revealed to enemies. YORU is able to cast all utility while in Dimensional Rift. Enemies can hear YORU's footsteps. Nearsighted is removed. Unequipped delay time is increased slightly. cast delay added when casting Dimensional Rift, preventing the invulnerability frame on cast. Wow, that's a lot to take in. The devs did add quite a lot of context, so let's get some of the key points on screen and then discuss the implications. Reducing the amount of time he can stay invisible should also stop the invincible Yoru from simply dancing in an enemy's face. The new unequip time is meant to hinder the combo of blasting Shorty right after switching to visible. An added delay to his invulnerability stops Yoru from relying too much on running around with his mask in his hand and jamming it in on at the first sight of danger. Instead, Yoru can now see the battlefield unhindered, allowing him to enter enemy zones, take in the state of the map, and mastermind a play, based around Yoru's change that allows abilities during his ult. So to me, the obvious biggest impact is that change where you can now cast abilities in your ult, while also being completely invisible and no longer being visually restricted. As the devs note, they've curtailed some of the cheese that a Yoru could deploy, and the removal of the iframes will make interacting with an ulting Yoru less frustrating in some senses. However, the new power to basically get all the info in the world for free, while also being able to pop flash yourself into a 9,000 IQ play, is potentially devastating. Now, I will offer some caution here actually. Some of this feels distinctly power creep-esque. However, Yoru definitely needed improvement, and he does deserve a lot of these changes, but I can see his new ult being pretty top tier. Maybe I'm overthinking that, but info, especially at the high levels of play, is absolutely king. One real tangible upside is that a Yoru will now be a legit counter to what I think is the most oppressive ult in the game, and that's Viper's Pit. The new Fakeout will be directly useful against Viper in her gas and help lock her down, but in his ult, Yoru will actually be able to pinpoint her almost from complete safety, while also being able to flash and potentially TP aggressively. Yes, enemies now can hear him in his ult running around, which is some kind of direct counterplay, but there's a part of me that believes players who master this new kit could be an absolute menace. If you're one of those players, then no doubt you're really happy right now, and you should be. YORU 2.0 is no joke, and should take the character from meme town into genuine contention, especially in the disorganized realm of solo queue. But I want to hear from you guys. Let me know in the comments what you think of these changes. Am I right to be a bit concerned, or is it just finally time for the 9 million IQ Yoru players to assume their rightful place as our new overlords? I'll let you guys decide. That's about it for today. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you like the content on this channel, please hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon so you get notified when we upload, which won't be months apart anymore, I promise. I've been Eddie, and until next time.